Hey everyone, long time no talk. Long time. But yeah, I'm gonna start making videos again, and just to sort of let you know, the reason I stopped making videos was just because I was having a hard time with especially going on camera and making weekly videos about my transition, just because I didn't feel like it was really part of my life, and I just felt like um, I was doing harm to myself by speaking about it all the time. I just sort of couldn't reconcile the fact that I was completely, passing 100% in my real life and, accepted by my coworkers and my friends and all that. And I was living and still am obviously living a very um, natural, healthily integrated male life. Like there wasn't much adversity I was facing. As far as being trans. So it was just going from that comfort and coming online to where, you know, most people do know I'm trans. It was a hard transition to make that, and it was making me kind of upset some of the time. So I just decided to take a step back from making videos at least. And I was still answering and still am answering questions on like Tumblr, um, because I feel like in that realm it's a little more private because I can respond to people sort of one at a time. I don't have to sort of put myself out there. I'm actually speaking to people about sort of their own things in respect to my transition. And I also made a separate Tumblr for myself that was like a private Tumblr that was sort of a, obviously a stealth Tumblr. And that made me feel a lot better because I was just like, well, now I have my own space where I can just express the self I am when I'm not online. Because when I'm not online, I'm not really out as trans. So, if people ask me, I don't deny it. Um, but I don't put that face forward when I introduce myself to people. Obviously, I introduce myself to people as Lucas, um, and it's all good. And so I'm going to start making videos again. For me, it was really hard to sort of, and it's paradoxical to come to terms with the fact that um, people like you're trying to live your life as male and all that, and yet people know you're trans. So it's like how do you do that? How do you live as a normal guy when people know you're trans? For me, I kind of worked myself around that by saying that it's part of my medical history. The people around me treat it as part of my medical history. It's the same to them as if of course, it's a pretty big deal and a little more unusual than most other more common medical things that people have to live with. But it's part of my medical history. It's not part of my identity. That's the main thing. It's not part of my how I identify because I don't identify as trans. I identify as a guy. If I were to make a little tagline for myself, describe myself, it's Lucas 22-year-old man. It's not Lucas 22-year-old transgender man. Trans isn't in there at all. So that's how I've sort of come to intertwine um, having people know I'm trans um, with sort of living my life in just as a normal guy, which is important to me. So in that sense, I do feel comfortable again making videos, and for as long as I do feel comfortable making videos, I will. So as things come up, I'm probably going to be talking about them again. So yeah, long-winded description, and I hope that made sense, but yeah. So, lately there have been a few things. Of course, as I said, I'm passing 100% of the time. Um, but I'm passing as younger than I am. I know a friend at work. I go into his other job shop a lot, and I pass as male to all of them, obviously. But they all think I'm apparently like 15 or something. So I pass, but I pass as younger than I actually am, which is fine with me because I'm still passing. And it's great to be passing all the time now and just to not have to think about it. Um, Second thing would be my chest surgery revision. I'm looking into getting a revision around hopefully this winter because I don't really have much going on this winter. And a lot of people have asked about the revision, and it's some minor stuff, and it's not on that all that unusual to get a revision with keyhole or periareolar surgery. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just try to show everyone. It's gonna be tough. Okay. So what I want done is, it's gonna be hard to see, but I don't know, maybe you can. On this side, there's some sagging, it's some extra tissue, and on this side there's a little bit of sagging, but it's a lot less. So with the revision, what sort of I want to happen, what the plan is to move, sort of pull the skin up, so it's like a lift, that's what it's called, and so pull this all up, and remove the extra tissue on this side, and I don't know if there's a little bit of extra on this side, doesn't really show up. But yeah, remove extra tissue, lift, and I also want to get my nipples resized, so they'll cut around this time, and resize those, and then lift them up, hopefully a little bit. And yeah, so nothing super complicated, and it's going to cost a lot less, but I'm still hoping to get it covered by MSP, because that was something my surgeon mentioned, and that's something he's trying to do right now. If that doesn't happen, then I'll just have to pay out of pocket again, but it is something I really want to get done. And lastly, I went to my cousin's wedding. This was in June, so this was a while ago. And I went there, and prior to this, my aunt had emailed me and been like, "Hey, I noticed your voice was a lot deeper at Christmas. Are you on testosterone?" And so I was just like, whatever. And I came out to her because she works as a counselor at a school, and a teacher as well. So she is pretty up on sort of things that are LGBTQ. She also apparently knows a trans woman who's sort of related to our family. I'm not really sure about that. But yeah, I came out to her and she had no problems, and then she also emailed the rest of my family, which was kind of pissed me off a bit, just because it was without my permission. But she emailed everyone. It's just like very straightforward, you know, telling people that I was going by Lucas and he, and just, you know, it wasn't like, I hope you can all respect that. It was just like, well, these are the facts, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, take them, because this is the way it is. And nobody really had an issue. I went to the wedding not really knowing what to expect, and everyone was calling me, except for my parents, who still don't call me this. Everyone was calling me Lucas and he without fail. My uncle messed up pronouns once, and then he quickly corrected himself. And everyone was really chipper about it. Like, nobody was sort of like, 10-foot pole. But it was odd, actually, because I never expected that kind of reaction from my extended family. And one final announcement, I'm down in my dose on testosterone, and I have been for a fair amount of time. I'm at 25 milligrams every week. I was at 80, and then I dropped down to 50, and then I dropped down to 25. Reason being that after surgery, I got like this huge breakout all over my face. And it was painful, and it was weird, and I would wager that it was directly in relation to my testosterone, just something freaky that happened. So as I lowered my dose, it got better. I was at 50, and it still wasn't getting better, and it went down to 25, although it could have been the new skin stuff I'm using. I don't really know. But I'm down at 25, and despite the fact that being at 25 I feel is kind of low, I want to really be on 50 again, but I just want to make sure that, you know, my face sort of has the chance to, my skin has the chance to sort of reset before I up my dose again. So I'll be on 25, I think, for another month or two. So that'll be about it for this update. I will update again when I have new information. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.